All right, we're going to talk about crypto in this video, but first, we're going to talk about the water buffalo. This is a terribly rendered AI version of water buffalo running towards rain clouds. Well, that's the metaphor here. Apparently, what I've been learning is every animal in the wild runs away from the storm, from the rain as it comes, except for one, the water buffalo, who charge towards it and through it, and therefore the storm lasts the shortest for the water buffalo because they run all the way through it. And I thought it was the perfect metaphor for the point of the market that we're at, where we've had a decent shakeout. Hopefully, what's the final shakeout? Now, we're always going to have pullbacks, but this has been a significant pullback, especially in the altcoin world. And if we can run towards it and through it, and as hard as it is for myself, I'm not saying you need to do this, but at least for myself, push the buy button on a lot of these tokens that have had caught my eye, and I've been waiting for these pullbacks. Actually running through the storm by pushing that buy button will highly likely, not for sure, but highly likely result in endless riches for me and my family. Elio Trade says, my view is, survive some chop and you're on the rocket. The worst is behind us for alts. Everyone who was going to sell has already sold. All the other animals have fled in the wrong direction. And now we're free to charge through that storm. Structural changes are coming. He followed up and said, obviously, Trump ramping up tariffs is going to give us some scares, which has been happening. That's what one of the big pullbacks was when Trump was introducing tariffs to Mexico and Canada. Chop doesn't mean it can't go lower. I'm just saying we've seen capitulation already. And then an hour later, he followed up once more and he says, a really weak sell-off on more tariff news. And therefore, the news of the tariffs, every time a new news comes out, it gets less and less of a pullback, and so we're becoming impervious to that sort of update. And I'm actually extremely bullish 2025 on crypto, and the reason why is basically because I'm extremely bullish on Bitcoin. And I want to give you a analogy of what happened in the last cycle. This is the gaming market. Now, if we go all here, you can see the total gaming market cap was absolutely massive, at least for the time, at about $50 billion. And a lot of it was coming from the top games and metaverses like Sandbox, Immutable X, even Axie Infinity. They were rising the tide, and therefore all ships and all games below it were rising. Didn't matter if they had utility or not. The best example I love pulling up here on this channel, I'll do it once every quarter, Doge Dash, this horrible crypto game that you went and you collected Doge tokens. There was only 10 levels, and it was basically like some side scroller where you just jump over and collect these tokens, but it was a crypto game. And the funny thing about Doge Dash is crypto wasn't actually integrated into the game. You had to send a video of you playing Doge Dash to the team, and they sent you back small amounts of tokens if you sent them a video. So it was just a flash game that was called a crypto game. I don't remember specifically, but I think this got to almost a $500 million market cap. Why? Not because of the Doge Dash's utility, but because it rode the gaming narrative. And this cycle, we are riding the Bitcoin narrative. That is the strong tide that is rising all ships, all utility alts, all meme coins below it. Ash Crypto says this is not the top of the market. Bitcoin is going to $150K to $200,000. I personally agree. ETH is easily going to 10K. I'm less well versed on that, but that's what a lot of big brains are saying. Alt season is not cancelled. It's just delayed by 2 to 3 months. And he says 2 to 3 months here. And I do believe that we could have a cool off for a couple of months, even though Feb is normally the most bullish month. It might not. It might be July. It might be June. But, and I don't know, I'm as annoyed as you are because we've been waiting like two and a half years for the real parabolic year. But crypto will teach you patience, and it'll teach you to run towards the storm in times where it's hard. And I don't know how this analogy is very quickly breaking down, but sell when you're up. It'll also teach you that lesson, most likely the hard way. The modern investor, he talks about why Bitcoin is a no-brainer in terms of driving the liquidity into crypto and therefore trickling down into smaller and smaller market cap tokens. He says there's only 140,000 Bitcoin left on OTC markets, over-the-counter markets. If MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor's company, who just keeps aping Bitcoin, makes 3 more purchases, all OTC Bitcoin will be depleted, meaning they have to buy off the free market. And when they buy off the free market, the price pumps. If the ETFs accumulate as much as they did in January, OTC will be depleted. If US and 15 states begin to buy Bitcoin, the OTC will be depleted. This is a massive demand from MicroStrategy and other private and public companies like Rumble, and I believe there's a big Japanese company that are buying billions of dollars of Bitcoin. It's the game theory. As soon as someone starts buying this Bitcoin, everybody else has to rush in, otherwise they're going to be buying it at the top at the highest price. Also, the ETFs are now buying, and the US government is talking about a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and I think it's like 14 or 15 states, that's written right here in front of me, proposing a Bitcoin reserve for their state treasuries. There's almost no Bitcoin even left for institutions, and there's no Bitcoin left. What happens to the price? It gets squeezed and goes sky high. Not only this, but Bitcoin is a better supply of money than fiat, because have a look at this. 15 years ago, this was the total money supply, say in US dollars, and this was the percentage of your money. Now, however, the total money supply has grown, and I think it's grown a lot more than this is actually making out to, but your money stays the same. So your money is worth less of the pie. This is a very simple theory that is the reason that Bitcoin and even something like gold are going to go up over time. The returns on real estate basically is a 1-to-1 ratio of how much money was printed, and therefore how much inflation, in terms of monetary inflation, not consumer inflation, is in the market. But Bitcoin has a fixed supply, and your Bitcoin will always be the same ratio of the total Bitcoin. I've read this tweet as well here on the channel, but it makes me super bullish on Bitcoin and therefore crypto in general. BlackRock is buying BTC. Soon banks will be able to lend against it, just like they do with real estate. People borrow against houses to buy more houses. This is the Ponzi scheme of the real estate market that's magically propped up by fake money. Now imagine that with Bitcoin. Borrow, buy more Bitcoin, and repeat. A self-reinforcing loop of demand. The difference, however, Bitcoin is global. Anyone in the world can buy it. Scarce. There's only 21 million Bitcoin ever. And liquid, 24/7. You can buy it at any time. They don't close like the bank. The Bitcoin credit era is coming. And Ash Crypto again says Bitcoin is now at the optimism level. ETH and alts are at disbelief down here. Altcoins will explode soon. This is the classic graph. And Ash believes we are here. People are optimistic about Bitcoin, but we haven't actually seen the big leg up to euphoria yet, especially with Bitcoin, which is also why Ilya Trade says it's why the liquidity hasn't flowed down to these altcoins, because it's still in the higher up layer ones like Bitcoin, because people see more upside there, so they're not ready to rotate their money. This is the crypto whip. We talk about this all the time on the channel. If Bitcoin goes to 200K, that's only a 2x. I mean, that's a high price, so to speak, for Bitcoin. But if you get something way further down the crypto whip, that's at like a $10 million market cap, well, just another $10 million is going to double that, where you need 1.5 or whatever it is trillion dollars to enter the Bitcoin ecosystem in order to double it. And the liquidity, as we've been talking about, starts in the bigger market caps, and then as everyone starts to build towards euphoria, it whips down all the way to the tail ends and those micro cap tokens where you can see those 100x's. Ash Crypto, again, go follow him on Twitter if you guys want to. Probably should hit the follow button myself. He's got some real banger tweets recently. Says the overall altcoin market is currently in the oversold territory. If you haven't sold your altcoins yet, you deserve to be a millionaire in 2025. You can see this is the altcoin market down here has pulled into the oversold territory. Crypto God John says the trenches, and he's got a new profile photo, which he's looking absolutely yak. Trenches slowly heating back up. Saw TST 2 days ago under a 5 mil market cap, and it ran up to a 400 mil. So we've had a decent shakeout. We may not be fully shaken out yet, but there is chances to make big money in the trenches as of yesterday and today. And then Jailstool went from a 3 mil to a $200 million valuation. Another excellent opportunity to, this is when John saw it. Obviously, it went from a 100K market cap to $200 million. There are potential 100x gains if you are in the trenches, which I think maybe about a week ago when things were really going down, there weren't. So it's like a little bit of a sprout coming up after that tornado, that hurricane that killed all life. Good to see the market get some runners again. Already seeing massive bounces on alts that have been severely sold off. And then Chad Tings on Twitter said, fun fact, Giga was up only for 363 days. If you held the meme coin Giga, you'd see 300, almost a full year of green candles going up, making your money bigger and bigger. The sell-off has only been 20 days. If you can't hold on sell-offs, you can't make it big. This is the reason why it's not easy to become a millionaire in crypto, but it is simple. Is you just got to hold and be patient through the setbacks and the pullbacks. No one in crypto thinks that there isn't going to be pullbacks, but it's how you respond to them that's really going to determine how much money you're going to make. Artchick.eth says, this shakeout has been great for meme coins. We got our wish. 99.9% are dead. It really did kill a lot of meme coins that didn't have strong communities and were built off the hype and the euphoria that was going around in the meme coin world. Those who are left are struggling. This was a mass extinction event for millions of crappy coins. The remaining few who bounce to new highs from here will be the winners of the meme coin supercycle. I agree. This is Murad's theory about investing in cults.